The University of Wisconsin Marching Band, one of the finest marching bands in the country, under legendary director Professor Michael LaCrone in his 43rd year, performing one of the most popular college fight songs in the land, On Wisconsin. What a great scene here in Madtown, USA. The Wisconsin Badgers have been waiting all week for redemption after losing by 3 points last week at Oregon State. Tonight, Utah State is in town. They are 2-0 for the first time. 7. Hi, everyone. Matt Devlin, certainly glad to have you along. In talking to Brett Bielema about letting go his offensive line coach, Mike Markuson, after that 3-point loss in Corvallis, Oregon, he told us the kids just didn't believe in the approach. He wants to control the line of scrimmage tonight against Utah State. For Utah State, they're coming off of a magnificent win at home in Logan, Utah against the Utah Utes in overtime, 27-20. Should be a great one tonight. Time to bring in my broadcast partner, Coach Glenn Mason. And Coach, you get the sense that the Badgers want to make a statement tonight in their run game.
A statement and a sense of urgency. Let's face it, that Wisconsin team the last 2 weeks isn't what we're used to. I'm going to tell you what everybody here, Wisconsin faithful, want to see. They want to see that big offensive line. And I checked them out in warm-up. Those guys got their game face on. They want to see him knock him off the ball, and they want to see number 28 Monte Ball run wild like he did a year ago.
All right, certainly they want to see that Heisman candidate run the ball wild tonight here in Madison, Wisconsin. All right, time now to check out the Delta Faucet keys to victory.
Well, first and foremost, all eyes are on that offensive line. Control that line of scrimmage. Defined by Wisconsin as knocking them 3 yards off the ball. Number 2, Danny O'Brien, the quarterback, the transfer from Maryland. He's got to play better. A week ago, he had some misreads. He didn't step up in the pocket when he was under duress. For Utah State, it's about the quarterback, Chucky Keaton. This guy is a playmaker deluxe. He's got to make plays tonight if they want to be successful. And that Utah State defense, get ready, fellas. You got to contain the run because you're going to see the run, and the run again.
A week ago, Wisconsin had just 35 yards rushing, the fewest since 2007. For Chucky Keaton, a dynamic sophomore quarterback. It's the Badgers and Aggies next. Here come the Wisconsin Badgers. The Wisconsin Badgers win the toss. They will receive. Brett Bielema in his 7th season at the helm of Wisconsin. The comforts of home, 40-3. And those 3 losses at home to 3 ranked teams, he has been outstanding. All right, time now for tonight's sideline report, which is brought to you by Best Buy. We send it down to Jay Wilson. Jay?
Hi, Matt. Well, at the start of the week, not many people outside of the Wisconsin football program knew who Bart Miller was because he started the week as a graduate assistant. But when Mike Markison was fired, Miller, who's 27 years old, became the interim offensive line coach for the Badgers. He was an offensive lineman at New Mexico, worked in the front office for the NHL Chicago Blackhawks before coming back to football as a GA at New Mexico State, then here at Wisconsin. Brett Bielema tells us he could feel the dynamics around the offensive line change almost immediately after Miller was promoted. And I asked Miller what did he wanted to accomplish tonight. He said simply, I want to run the football. Matt, back to you.
All right, the other thing that stands out, he is a protege of Bob Bostad, a very successful offensive line coach for Wisconsin, who is now the offensive line coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jaron Ventrude, the kickoff, and Melvin Gordon. And right now, they are waiting for a squirrel. See, everybody wants to run tonight. The squirrel is off of the field here at Camp Randall Stadium. And we are set for Saturday Night Football from Madison, Wisconsin. Ventrude. Gordon brings it out. Gordon takes a hit, and he is dropped at the 16-yard. Danny O'Brien, in talking to the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach, Matt Canada, he said he has to be better. We need him to be better. And a week ago at Oregon State, he misread a lot.
He misread a lot of plays. And the other thing that he did was he didn't step up in the pocket. It was hard for them to protect him.
And a handoff to Melvin Gordon. Flags are down.
Ball start, offense, number 79, 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
Ryan Groy, the left guard. Just 5 total penalties, 7 fewest in the nation for this Wisconsin Badger football team. Not the way they wanted to start. Can't find your school's game? Go to btn.com/game finder right now to see where you can find your game. Badgers backed up now. 1st and 15. Handoff. Monte Ball. Ball surging forward. And back to the original line of scrimmage as Tyler Fackrell comes in and makes the stop. You look at this unit that allowed 3 sacks last week. Wagner, Groy, Frederick. On that left side and in the middle is going to be so important for them to play well tonight. And Amonte Ball, a week ago, you look at his numbers, just 61 yards on the ground. Straight ahead. Right behind Travis Frederick. And this is exactly what the Wisconsin Badgers want to do, a pickup of 4. Connor Williams out of Canada, Ontario. One of 46 Canadians playing in the FBS. You look at the linebacking core led by number 55, Boje Filimoyatu. Had a career-high 12 tackles against Utah. And McCade Brady, he is a leader of this secondary for Dave Aranda, the defensive coordinator. O'Brien in trouble. And O'Brien tracked down by Zach Vigil. And Vigil, the sophomore from Clearfield, Utah, comes in. And the offensive line right now, a spotlight is on him, Coach.
Well, this is the mainstay of Utah State is they play that 3-4 defense. They like to give the illusion, the deception of blitzes all over the place to confuse the offensive line. It worked there. Danny O'Brien, as you saw, he rolled out deep. Brett Bielema was specific when he says, that's not what we do here. We don't try to escape that way. Step up, throw the ball away.
Drew Meyer, the kicker. And Cameron Webb brings it beyond the 40-yard line. 53-yard punt and a 16-yard return.
Drew Meyer, the punter, has been a pleasant surprise for the Wisconsin Badgers. He came here as a walk-on, and right now they're 26th in neck punting in the country. They're very pleased.
Chucky Keaton, a year ago, as a true freshman, nearly led Utah State to a win at Auburn. Out of the shotgun, he keeps it. And he is wrapped up and brought down by Brendan Kelly. The offensive line, Kevin Wimpy on the left side, along with his brother Kyle Wimpy, both transfers from Idaho State. And you talk to the offensive coordinator, Matt Wells, he said they have a Midwest mentality. Kerwin Williams, a great kick returner, now the starter at running back. And Chucky Keaton out of the backfield. And now for tonight's Auto Owners Insurance starting defense. And Brendan Kelly getting the start tonight. Pat Muldoon is out. And Kelly sprained a left hamstring, didn't play last week against Oregon State. And Chris Borland in the middle. There is no one better in the middle in the country, along with Mike Taylor. And then Michael Trotter getting the start. Shelton Johnson is out. He had surgery on Sunday for a broken arm. He was injured last week at Oregon State. Pass intended for Cameron Webb. And that's going to bring up fourth down. It's 4th and 3.
Wisconsin elects to go with punt field. They're happy with Utah State just to punt the ball away. I think that's a good call at midfield. You're playing a team like Utah State. They got everything to gain, nothing to lose. You got to be cautious here.
Kenzel Doe is back. Doe, a fair catch, and he takes it at the 2.
Big no-no. Coaching no-no. Put your heels on the 10. Don't back up.
47-yard punt by Tyler Bennett. First quarter action from Madison, Wisconsin. BGN Football is brought to you by John Deere, the all-new, all-powerful Gator RSX 850i. A view of the Capitol here on this Saturday evening from Madison, Wisconsin. A team that right now will begin at the 3-yard line.
Normal circumstances, I wouldn't be surprised you saw a play-action pass go for the home run. Utah State wants to keep them on down here.
Monte Ball looking for a seam, nothing there. And stacked up against that front of Utah State. You look at a year ago compared to this season. Right now, Wisconsin is dead last in rushing the football.
It's unbelievable. I mean, when you think about that offensive line of which Brett Bielema indicated before the start, it might be potentially his best. And Monte Ball, I just can't believe it.
Badgers can't believe it. 2nd down and 9. Ball puts his shoulder down and charges ahead, and brought down just beyond the 12-yard line, and a pickup of 70 yards as Kyler Fackrell comes in, a redshirt freshman, and McCade Brady.
Well, here's their power counter play where they're going to block down, pull the backside guard, pull the tight end around. And the thing about, if you want a good running attack, Wisconsin knows about, man, you just got to keep hammering away. You got to have some patience, just hammer it away. Sooner or later, you'll wear them down.
Wisconsin known for their offensive linemen and their great running game because of the offensive linemen. Currently ranked 106 in the FBS in a rushing offense. And a Monte Ball wrapped up by Jake Dowdy, and a very aggressive Utah State defense, and a loss of 2.
Well, when you look at that Utah State team, just look at it. They are playing run the whole way. I know what Wisconsin's trying to establish, and that's what I would do, the same thing. But you know what's going to happen? These guys are going to say, hey, go ahead and fake that run. Danny O'Brien pop up. There's going to be one-on-one coverage out there. Let's go for the home run. Watch for that to happen.
4th and 3. Drew Meyer, the punter. Back to Cameron Webb. And Webb handles it. And he brings it up to the 49-yard line. In great field position for Utah State. Scoreless here in Madison. Scoreless. 10:08 remaining here in the first quarter. And Coach, I mean, you can't live without this. Everywhere we go, you are tweeting. You are on there all day long following all the scores and all the Big Ten action.
All my tweets say I look a lot younger than you do.
The Twitter Big Ten Football and BTN Connect is the place to join the conversation. See what fans and the media are saying. Vote in our Twitter polls, track the stats, and find out who's trending in the Big Ten today. It's all at btn.com/connect. Chucky Keaton quickly throws it outside, and then he connects with Kerwin Williams.
Well, there's the bubble screen, and when we talk to Chris Ash, the defensive coordinator of Wisconsin, the two plays he was concerned about were that bubble screen right there. That's nothing more than a toss sweep on the perimeter and option football by Chucky Keaton.
Keaton spinning, and a first down for Utah State. This is a very good Utah State Aggie football team. Gary Anderson in his 4th year. They received a vote in the AP Top 25 for the first time since 1966.
We turn on the film. I was really impressed with the caliber of play and caliber athletes that Utah State has.
Chuck Jacobs in motion. Keaton finds Kerwin Williams wide open, diving into the end zone. Touchdown Aggies. 39 yards. The Aggies are legit.
Well, Wisconsin has had trouble with this play in the past. In their first week, they got exposed by the wheel route. Last week, they defended it pretty well. And here, Utah State comes back and hits it for a home run.
The extra point and the Speedway scoring drive. 3 plays, 52 yards, 51 seconds. And Kerwin Williams, his first ever touchdown reception.
Well, here he goes with the play fake, and you can see the man that was in motion went what we call a reel route. They had the tight end going down the middle. He went the outside. The defensive corner collapsing. They got outflanked on the perimeter. They've been hurt there before. I am sure that Chris Ash is very upset about that play. He talked about in our meeting on Friday.
Gary Anderson, former offensive lineman at the University of Utah, coached with Urban Meyer for a year. Jaron Bentrude to kick off. Gordon and White are back for the Badgers. Taken at the 1-yard line by Gordon. Gordon wrapped up and brought down at the 21-yard line. And you look at the Utah State Aggies in notable games against BCS teams. And check this out, 2009, 2010 at Auburn. And then a week ago, they lost 12 in a row to the Utes, one of the top Pac-12 teams.
Everybody thought they were the team that could compete with the University of Southern California.
Movement. It was interesting in speaking to Gary Anderson.
False start, offense, 5-yard penalty, number 75, remains first down.
Zach Matthias, that is his second penalty on the offensive line for the Badgers. And respect our opponents, but we don't put them on a pedestal. And he said the key tonight, we want to keep it close to the 4th quarter. And here he is in the first quarter, up 7-0.
Well, here Wisconsin is in an unbalance, and they motion back.
Monte Ball looking for a seam, and brought down by McCade Brady.
Partner, when you're a running football team and you're committed to run it, it's hard enough 1st and 10 to run, and get a first down. When you start 1st and 15, an extra 5 yards, 1st and 10's tough, 1st and 15 really tough.
Yesterday we watched 3 hours of film, and you watched that offensive line not only last week against Oregon State but also Northern Iowa. How much can you change? I know you can change the mentality, but how much physically can you change that approach in just 1 week? Danny O'Brien to throw for the first time, and across the mid end, Jacob Pedersen, it is dropped.
That's an excellent question, Matt. You know, I watched them, and they were playing high. There's a saying I used to use all the time, love is stepping up in the pocket that time so they can protect and put the ball in the money, but it's an incomplete. But you talk about changing the philosophy coming off the ball. The problem is during the course of the week, you don't have enough times to rep it and rep it and rep it and rep it, and that's what you have to do with a good running football team.
Picked off. Intercept. Will Davis, the senior from Spokane.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 16 in offense. 15-yard penalty.
Tavares McMillan.
Well, Danny O'Brien, he dodged a bullet here because classic mistake. He was rolling to his left, and he threw back across his body to the middle. And that way you can't see when defenders are coming from the other side. You coach guys, don't do that there. He didn't even see the guy right in front of him. Classic mistake, called by the official, late hit out of...
Because of the situation, Danny O'Brien transferring here after graduating, everybody looked at Russell Wilson and said, oh, we have another Russell. Not even close. Completely different player. They hope he can be a Scott Tolzien. Big run by Monte Ball on first down. Monte Ball finally stopped by Nevin Lawson coming up and making the tackle and a pickup of 9 yards for the Badgers.
Well, watch Monte Ball. He's a glove. There's the type of hole he's used to. If he can get to the secondary, he's going to eat him up over the course of time. That was a good job by the offensive line. Here's unbalanced again.
Ball surging forward, and he is pushed back behind the line of scrimmage as McCade Brady and Brian Sweet come in. And Brady, a senior IU, who was a sprinter at BYU and transferred to Utah State to play football. It's going to be 3rd and short, and this is really where you can tell with the offensive line.
Well, they want to move that line 3 yards downfield. Let's watch to see if they get it done.
And Ball comes up short as he was pushed back. Al Lapoaho.
Now, Matt, I want you to watch it. Look how high those guys are there. You know, the thing about it, I keep talking about low man wins. They talked about it. They have not corrected in a week's time. Those big guys, 310, 320 pounds, stood straight up. Let those little defenders get under them. Leverage.
Lapoaho pushing back Jacob Pedersen, the tight end. 3 possessions, 3 punts for Wisconsin, and boos ringing out on a Saturday night in Madison, Wisconsin. Badgers searching for answers, down 7-0. Beautiful scene here in Madison, Wisconsin on a gorgeous September Saturday. BTN goes where you want, when you want it, with BTN to Go, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Watch every football game on your computer, tablet, or smartphone. BTN To Go is available at no extra charge to subscribers who receive BTN through their cable, satellite, or participating video providers. Chucky Keaton on a keeper outside, comes up just shy of a first down, and they pick up a 70 yards for the dynamic sophomore quarterback out of Houston, Texas, Mike Taylor.
When you watch the Wisconsin defense play, they like to get lined up in a base defense.
Inside handoff. It's going to bring up third down.
They like to get lined up quick in a base defense, and the comparison will be to Utah State when they play. They play that 3-4. They line up all over the place to make adjustments to confuse the offense.
Utah State coming off of a huge victory against Utah, 27-20 in overtime, and a timeout taken by the Aggies on third and short.
They're first.
You know, third down's the most important down in football. Right now, Utah State's winning that down.
Third down for Utah State. Under center, Chucky Keaton. And a whistle. Play is stopped. Todd Gearlings.
Wisconsin, they're first.
Wisconsin takes a
timeout. This will be a 30-second timeout. Please reset the game clock to 5 minutes.
Aberderis is at the 43.
Well, you had Utah State, Matt. They lined up in an unbalanced formation. Obviously, Wisconsin didn't line up the way they wanted to. They went timeout.
You see Jared Aberderis. Jared Aberderis a week ago in the second quarter, injured at Oregon State. And with more on that story, we send it down to Jay Wilson. Jay?
Well, Matt, the question all week was the status of Jared Aberderis after that vicious hit he suffered in the game at Oregon State. He was out for pregame warm-ups. I asked him if he could go. He said, we'll see. And obviously the answer appears to be no. He has not put his helmet on all night. And without Jared Aberderis, an offense that is struggling may continue to struggle, Matt.
A slight concussion was reported earlier in the week after that high-low hit against Oregon State, and also a chest injury. On third down, Keaton keeping it. Keaton stacked up and pushed back on third and short, and right in the middle of it, the Badgers, Dipple, a junior from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Well, here comes the option, and they control the line of scrimmage. They stay square. That's really important, defending a guy like Chucky Keaton. Make the play. They won third down, Wisconsin.
Tyler Bennett, and a punter, sends it to Doe. And a 38-yard punt, and Danny O'Brien and Wisconsin down 7-0 in this first quarter. This October, the creators of BTN's award-winning original series, A Journey, look at the student athletes and coaches as they battle through the season. The Journey, Big Ten Football 2012, presented by Best Buy, premieres October 3rd on BTN. Anxious times, their offense. Monte Ball, alone back. Danny O'Brien throws it to the near side. The junior from Fort Lauderdale, his second catch on the season.
You mentioned James White. He kind of gets lost in the discussion a lot of times because of Monte Ball a year ago, but he's a 1,000-yard rusher in his own right, and he owns the career record, 5.9 yards per carry. Pretty impressive.
Very impressive. Tight end Pedersen in motion. Here's a handoff. Monte Ball with a huge hole. Puts the shoulder down and into Aggie territory and stopped at the 45 and a pickup of 7.
Well, you'll see it here again. When he gets all the way to the safety like that, now they're getting movement. They're getting push. They're not standing up. He gets all the way to safety. Sooner or later, that guy's going to get tired of tackling him, and it's going to be gone.
Brett Bielema yesterday telling us they want to control the line of scrimmage. And he said our line of scrimmage is 3 yards down the field.
Well, I tell you, if you can establish that as a running team, you can name your score. That's a pretty good goal. I wish I would have thought of a term like that when I was coaching offensive line.
Well, they did just fine with you in Minnesota. 7 bowl appearances. Pedersen loses it on the exchange, and he's down. Danny O'Brien with the fumble and a loss of 2. One of the other things Matt Canada said about us with respect to Danny O'Brien, he's got to settle in. He's got to just settle in. And, you wonder, last year at Maryland, he was literally on the run, Coach, all the time.
Well, you're exactly right. He's got to have confidence in that line. He's got to believe in it. He's got to play in their system. He's got to step up on those passes. And he sure can't fumble the ball in center quarterback exchange.
He said, just be steady. You don't have to do it yourself. O'Brien across the middle, and the pass is complete to Reggie Love. And the Badgers are moving the chains in a pickup of 18.
Well, that's what they want of O'Brien right there. He stood tall in the pocket, and he went through his read progression. A week ago, a lot of times, with that linebacker blitzing, he would have panicked and dropped the ball underneath. This time, he got the guy coming across the middle. Good execution.
1st and 10 from the 28 of Utah State. Badgers down 7-0. Gordon in motion. Handoff. James White sliding to the left now. Squares up the shoulders, and he's brought down at the 24-yard line. And a tackle by Kyler Fackrell. And James White this season, 12 rushes, 58 yards. Touchdowns coming into this season, better than 1,800 yards on the ground. As a true freshman, he ran for better than 1,000 yards. Second down now for Wisconsin. White in the backfield. They'll throw it to the near side, and Jordan Frederick sidesteps and is brought down at the 70-yard line.
They're high on Jordan Fredericks, a redshirt freshman right here from Memorial High School in Madison. And with Abadaris on the sideline, they need some guys to step up.
And look at the history of Memorial High School. They've produced some ball in the backfield. O'Brien handoff. Ball spinning. Ball pushed back, and the stop by Jake Dowdy.
You've got to be impressed so far how Utah State's defensive line have played. They play a 3-4 defense. I can tell you, Matt, that is not what that defense is built to stop an attack like this. Those guys are scrappy, they're undersized, they're playing low, and they're hanging in there, but they got a long way to go.
This defense, the WAC standings, but they're top 20 in the nation in 4 categories. Brian Sweet State. 3rd and goal.
I would be a bit surprised that I'm not thinking I'm going to use 2 statement here if I'm Brett Bielema, Wisconsin.
As the quarter comes to a close. You know what's interesting? Through 3 first quarters, Wisconsin's The Journey Big Ten football debuts October 3rd. The Emmy-nominated and critically acclaimed series that has been a hit with basketball fans will chronicle Big Ten football the entire season as it unfolds.